Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode here in NHL 24. So in last episode, we won yet another Stanley Cup, and this one was definitely our toughest task yet in terms of winning a Stanley Cup, because we originally fell down in the series against the Ottawa Senators down 3-1. However, our team managed to rally back big time, as you can see, with a nice 6-1 win and a 5-1 win, so good defense, good offense. And then we won the Stanley Cup on an overtime winning goal from Ekholm. And it was pretty incredible what happened in that game, because basically it was 3-3. I intervened, and then there was an own goal by us, and I thought that was going to make us lose the Stanley Cup. However, literally a couple minutes later, Ekholm got a goal, basically, that was also an own goal for the Ottawa Senators. So a couple of own goals to basically make it still a tie game. It then went to overtime. We got a power play really early into overtime, and we managed to capitalize on it and win a Stanley Cup yet again. So we've won, I think, now 5 Stanley Cups in this series, which is outrageous. We won one way back when we had still like Nick Ehlers and Kyle Connor, those type of guys. But guys like Aiden Irving, Jaquezie, etc. are now on the terms where they've won 4 Stanley Cups in their career. I'm pretty certain on that, which is pretty insane. I didn't want to go to regular season. I wanted to go to playoff stats, but if we head on over to Jaquezie, because Irving obviously missed 1 year of playoffs because of his injury he had a couple years ago. But if we go to Arthur Jaquezie, for example, you can see we have won a Stanley Cup there in 2031. We won a Stanley Cup, I believe it was, it would have been 34, 35? Trying to remember exactly when we won the Stanley Cup. I know it's been at least 4 Stanley Cups for most of these guys, I'm pretty certain. Better one would probably be Vandermeer to look at, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here we go. So you can see Vandermeer played 20 games here in 2031, a Stanley Cup win. There's a Stanley Cup win. There's a Stanley Cup win. There's a Conference Finals loss, and there's another Stanley Cup win. So we basically have 4 cups in the 2030s already. And the crazy thing is Vandermeer's only 26, and he's already won 4 Stanley Cups, which is outrageous. Obviously, the oldest guy on the team is Aiden Irving, but guys like even Jaquezie have won 4 Stanley Cups, and he's only 27. I'm pretty sure Eberle's been a part of all those cup teams as well, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3. He's won 3 of those cups. The other time he was in the AHL, actually, so it's kind of crazy, though, how much cups all these players on this team have won. There's not been a lot of guys that have been here for every single cup win. Guys like Jimmy Scarlett, I'm pretty sure, has been. No, Jimmy Scarlett wasn't either. Damn, I didn't even remember that he was also in the AHL. But he's been here for 3 cups at least in the last 4 years. So a lot of these guys getting cups quite early into their career. So it'll be interesting to see how much they end up finishing off with in their career. But anyways, that was that. Let's get in your guys' comments now and see what you guys have to say about last episode. And then we'll get to like the retirements and stuff like that, because we didn't get to that in the last episode. So the first comment is from Senator Taku, who says, "Can't say this team doesn't have a flair for the dramatic," and I can agree with that for sure, because there's been a lot of series, like there was one, I think, a couple years ago where we literally won in Game 7 against the Ducks in overtime as well. This time around, obviously, in the Cup Finals, we managed to rally from 3-1, which I wasn't really expecting, because when we were down 3-1, we were kind of getting outplayed in mostly every single game of ours. Like, we won the first game of the Stanley Cup Finals 3-2, so a nice little close game. Then we lost 5-4, so at least it was a close game. But then 6-2 loss had me a little bit scared. We then lost 6-5 in OT, and like the goaltending wasn't playing good at all. We decided to go best lines, and it definitely helped out quite a bit with those wins down the stretch to get us back to the Game 7 and winning the Stanley Cup. And the last and final comment is from Michael Dos, who says, "What an amazing Stanley Cup Finals this was. Irving cranked it up once put on the 3rd line." And yeah, I didn't really want to have Irving on the 3rd line, but the best lines had Irving as a 3rd liner. And Aiden Irving managed to score, I think, a couple, like maybe 4 goals in those last 3 games, if I'm not mistaken. So he definitely helped out a lot in terms of getting that Stanley Cup win, obviously with the 18 goals in 24 games, 28 points. He didn't win the Conn Smythe, but it gave it to Jaquezie, who also had the same amount of points, so Aiden could have easily won it as well. And yeah, he's been just a great captain for this team. And I'm so glad that I decided to name him captain years ago when we were given the opportunity to do so after who was it? Cole Perfetti left, because Cole Perfetti, I think, was our captain for a little bit as well. But anyways, let's get to this off-season stuff and wrap up the 2037 season. And then obviously we'll get into the draft and re-sign stage. I honestly don't know what we're going to be doing this off-season, because I obviously want to just maintain this roster pretty much. So we'll see what we end up doing once we get to like the re-sign stage and all that. But Should be an interesting offseason for sure. Washington has won the draft Florida, moved from 8 to 1, so a pretty big jump up. Vegas at number 2, Florida at 3, Tampa at 4, and Edmonton at 5. That's kind of interesting that Florida and Tampa are back to back, because that will be probably like a good rivalry between fans who went 3 and who went 4. Kind of reminds me of like when Jonathan Drouin went high up and like Aaron Ekblad went high up. Obviously, I don't think they were the same draft class. No, they definitely weren't the same draft class, but still, you get the idea. So there's that. Okay. Retired players. I don't think we lost anybody because we're still a young team, and yeah, that's probably not the case. However, there is some pretty big retirements around the league, so let's start off with the centers. Leon Draisaitl has decided to retire at 41 years old with 1,914 points, so definitely a Hall of Fame career for Leon Draisaitl. Trevor Zegras also retires. That's a pretty big one for this series, considering we've played Anaheim so much in the playoffs, especially in those conference finals. Trevor Zegras retiring is a massive one. He was still a 90 overall, so I kind of wasn't expecting that. So the Ducks lose a big piece there. Maybe that will set them back a little bit, but hopefully it also keeps that rivalry going in a sense too, because I know that the Ducks still have some really good players on their team, so it won't be that big of a drop-off for them, but still, losing a top-line center like Zegras, that's pretty big. Kotkaniemi also retires. Bennett, some other pretty good players. Gabe Vilardi retires. Obviously, former Winnipeg Jet of ours, way back in the early stages. Same with Rasmus Kupari. Both of them retire. Kupari retires in Detroit or the AHL affiliate in Grand Rapids. Okay. Any other interesting centers? Not really. Let's head to left wingers. Brandon Hagel decides to retire with over 1,000 points. That's kind of not expected. Wow. Nice. Him and Clayton Keller up there. Joel Farabee. Anybody else interesting that decided to call it quits? Not that I could see. Wow, this regenerated guy retired at 32. Unless it's a real player. And that might actually be a real player. I don't know. It's hard to tell because he has no photo. We head to the right wing side of things. Andrei Svechnikov is retired. Same with Timo Meier. So some pretty big names in terms of forwards. We do lose Chinnikov, but we brought in Chinnikov just based as a cap whale because we actually needed a cap whale still this season, which is ridiculous because we won 60 wins and also won the Stanley Cup. So shout out to Chinnikov. Thank you for your time here. Obviously, you played a number of games with us a couple of years back, or quite a few years back, I should say, at this point. And that's pretty much it for forwards. Defensively, the best defenseman to retire we did see was Cale Makar and Rasmus Dahlin. Damn, those are two huge defenders to retire. So, yeah, this retirement class might be one of the biggest ones we've seen yet. Provorov, Addison, Lundqvist, all right. Yeah, some pretty good defenders. Ville Heinola retired. All right. What about goaltending-wise? Stuart Skinner has retired. Damn, that's also a pretty big one because he was with Colorado for a number of years. I think won a Stanley Cup with them too. Jay Gottinger retires. That's kind of funny considering these two are going to be facing each other in the conference finals in real life. Carter Hart retires as well. Ilya Sorokin. All right. Thatcher Demko too. No slouch there. All right. So pretty big retirement class led by Leon Draisaitl and Cale Makar, I'd say. But damn. Will be interesting to see if any of those guys are coaches or not. And Svechnikov is now a coach. That's kind of not what I was expecting to see. Because I don't think in real life I could see Andrei Svechnikov as a head coach, but you never know. In terms of coach retirements, do we have any coach retirements this season? Manitoba lost Chernik. I think that was the goalie coach, but I don't really remember, to be honest. And we did not lose anything in terms of the NHL, which is good. All right. Let's see. Let me go to coaching staff first. I do want to see which coach retired. I think it was the goalie coach in the AHL. Probably. I don't even know, to be honest, still. But at least we still have our really good head coach and assistant coach and associate coach in the NHL. We could probably get a goalie coach this season as well. But anyways, let's hop into the draft. I honestly don't remember what this draft class looks like, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of scouting out and seeing what we have. I think, yeah, but don't we have multiple first-round picks this year? Yeah, we have multiple first-rounders, I think. Because I think we still have LA's first as well. Oh, yeah, and Columbus's. Interesting. Is there anybody worth moving up to get? Is there anybody worth moving up to get? Let's take a look. Anybody worth moving up for? Because I could just move up and grab a random really good player. If there's something we need. We could use more good defenders, but... This guy might be medium elite. Matthew, ooh, 1 year out, but I think he's probably a top 6 forward still. I don't know why. That guy could be worth moving up to get. It's only a couple spots ahead of one of our selections. Yeah, I think that might actually be worth moving up for at 14. So, who has the 14th overall selection in this draft? Oh, they actually want to move it too, the San Jose Sharks. Okay, that's perfect. Well, San Jose, I have a 17th overall pick from Columbus for you. This is for starters. And I will give you my 6th round selection. Actually, that's not even that much. I could give you maybe a 4th round pick. I'm okay with doing that. So we basically move up 3 spots. Should I try a 5th rounder first, though, just to make sure I could get as much value as possible here? Or as little as value as possible? Let's try that and see if we can move up a couple spots. Rejected. Okay. What if I do a 4th round pick? I could give you one of my 3rds as well, but I just want to try first. There you go. Alright, so we move up 3 spots, and we are going to try and take that Harrison guy, or whatever his name was. Just because he could be an elite player. Even if he's only a top 6 forward, he's only supposed to be 1 year out. Might as well move up a couple spots, huh? And we still have multiple 1st round picks, so... do we want to even use our other 1st round selections this year? Maybe. Or we could trade them for future ones. We do have future picks still from, like, LA, I think, as well. Our own pick is pretty late. 27 to 32. Is there anybody that's supposed to go in the late part of the 1st round that's intriguing as well? That we can maybe move up to get? Let's see. Because we have 27 to 32. Anything before that pick that I would take? Howard McCabe, eh. What about Kopecky? He's pretty much right around our pick as well. Fragapane, eh. What about, ooh, a goalie. That's supposed to go right around our selection. 3 years out. Where is he supposed to go based on this? Scout ranks 26. That's literally right where our pick is, so. Right? We're picking 26, I think, or did I say 27th? I think it might have been actually 27th. Yeah, it's 27th, so I might try to move up 1 selection with that pick. Because might as well. As Granato goes to the Washington Capitals, let's try and see if we can move up 1 spot, just because I might as well secure myself another medium elite goalie, right? I know I don't think it's cheesing the AI really that much by moving up in this. The Islanders don't want to move this selection, which is not great, so we might have to overpay a bit. But if I gave you guys 27th and a 5th round pick, so I'm basically moving up 1 spot and you're getting a free 5th rounder. How about that? There you go. Perfect. Okay, so we move up 1 spot again, and we get the next pick in the draft at 26. Okay, so now we should be able to get that goalie too. We do still have... obviously another 1st round pick that's at 32, but we're probably just going to have to hold on to it, to be honest. So some draft movement. So let's just take a look at what Granato's looking like here. That went 1st overall. Amir Granato, pretty solid shooter. Nice little pickup there for the Washington Capitals. What about Vegas at 2? They take Petrovic, okay. And he's got a little bit more X factors. He is a playmaker. Looks pretty balanced. It's kind of weird because he could take faceoffs, but he's a right wing and left wing. Like, you think they would make him have a center position as well, but no. Alright. Florida at 3 takes Herme, the 1st defender off the board. DFD, Timo Herme. Alright. Not a really good shooter for a defenseman. Like, he's got the power, but not the accuracy. But obviously he's a DFD, so he's not really meant for that. Tampa at 4 is going to take Teal. Barry Teal. Probably the favorite player of Bacon Country, considering his last name's Teal, but left wing, right wing as well. And then the Edmonton Oilers at 5 are going to take the 1st defenseman off the board, Braden O'Brien, who's only a top 4, 76 DFD. That makes me feel like that guy that we moved up to get is maybe not even going to be medium elite. I feel like he's only going to be a top 6, and he's going to be like a 76 just like that guy or something like that. But it's worth the selection anyways, just because it gives us more depth. Because we always like to have depth on this team, and we like to replenish our older guys with younger guys as much as we possibly can. So let's sim to our next pick at 14, see if we can get that guy that we moved up to get. Downey just went off the board, and he was medium elite, so maybe that gives us hope that the guy that we are looking at is medium elite. Wayne Downey. That's a pretty nice little steal there for the Boston Bruins at 12. So shout out to them for that nice steal. The question is the guy we moved up to get medium elite, or is he just a top 6 forward with a good overall? I feel like he's a top 6 forward with a good overall, but what about Kavasha? I don't know about him. Yeah, let's take Matthew Harrison with this next selection. The good thing is if he is medium elite in a high overall, he could easily play in the AHL too because he is USA born. So Matthew Harrison, welcome to the dynasty. He is a top 6 forward, I was thinking that. 75 overall though, and he could play in the AHL right away, which is great. So even though he's technically only minor scoring forward, he's going to get thrown into a stacked AHL roster, and he could be in the NHL within a year or two. So I like that selection. It does suck kind of moving up to get him, but at the same time, it was only up like 1 pick, so it's not really that bad. I don't mind that. Let's see him to our next pick and see if that goalie's still on the board. Oh, wait, is that the goalie I wanted? And did he just go to the Rangers? I think that was the goalie I wanted. Yeah, I think that was the goalie I wanted. Yep. God damn it. God damn it. Well, at least he wasn't insane. There is another medium elite goalie, but he's not supposed to go to the next round. But unfortunately, we just missed out on, what's his first name? Mika Puka, which is quite the name. He went on 25th, so I should have probably tried to move up a couple more spots instead, but oh well. Is what it is. Gives us another earlier selection. Coach LaDuke is a guaranteed top 6 forward. That's 3 years out. There's some top 9s. We could probably use a top 4 defenseman, to be honest, because there's guys that will be leaving his team on the defensive end eventually. Peter Kopecky. Anybody else we're taking at that spot? Probably not, right? Yeah, probably not. I do have McDermott pinned, apparently. Huh. Anybody else that's pinned or no? Oh, I did pin some other guys. Oh, yeah, I forgot about, like, some of these other dudes. Yeah, I forgot about some of these other dudes that could be, like, elite steals. Like this medium elite that's supposed to go in the 3rd round. There's a medium elite DFD for the 3rd round as well. There's a low elite that's supposed to go 7th round. I forgot about Waters. We don't even have a 7th round selection, so I might have to take him in the 5th round. That's interesting. All right. So I guess we'll just go with Kopecky with this next pick because we do still have 1 more 1st round pick. So we'll take Kopecky just to give us another defensive prospect to hopefully develop. So there's Kopecky, 64 overall, top 4, not bad. And our final selection of the 1st round. How much more picks do we got? Because I know we've traded away a couple late round selections, right? We have a 6th round pick still. So we'll take that low elite that's supposed to go 7th round into 6th round. And then we should be able to still get some other guys that are good in the 2nd and 3rd round, which is nice. So this could be a pretty good draft for us, even though we don't really need it, which is kind of funny. All right, so there was Rycroft. Who was I going to take at the end of the 1st round? Oh, yeah, this gem probably. And Reginald McDermott. Good shooter. Yeah, might as well. He's got small size to him, but that's kind of fun. No, you like to have those nice speedy guys. So Reginald McDermott is going to be the last selection in the 1st round. Let's take a look how good he was. Hopefully he was like a 65 or something like that at least. Should be. Yeah, 63. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Yeah, and he's got some pretty solid shooting. If he doesn't develop in the NHL, he should be a decent AHLer at some point. But let's send him to our next pick, I think. Yeah, let's send him to our next pick because we are now into the 2nd round. And let's see if we could grab some of those other really good players that we had pinned, like those low elites and whatnot. Let's see. So it probably won't take the goalie because that's supposed to go next round. I do have multiple 2nd rounders here. I should probably go for one of the medium elites. Let's go for the medium elite DFD because he's supposed to go first, I think. Yeah, sure. So there is Gustafsson, a little bit early of a selection, but it gives us another medium elite defensive prospect. We're just trying to build up that depth as good as possible. No, thank you. I don't want to trade for anybody on a different roster right now. But I appreciate the offer there, Florida. That medium elite center is still available, so I'll probably take him with the next pick. Yeah, probably take him here with the next pick, so we'll get another nice medium elite center. Not that we really need it, because we have like Ekholm and stuff like that, but always good to have depth as much as possible. And there he is, 51 overall. Not too bad. Obviously a bit of a project, but still gives us more depth down at the middle, which is good. Our next pick at 73. Do we got still anybody on the board that we were looking at here? Yes, we got these guys still. Biggers I could take next round, or later this round. Caden Sutter as a goalie prospect. I don't really need goalie prospects, but I'm still going to take him anyways. 47 overall, because at least it gives us some trade value too if we want to trade away some of these guys. But next pick at 96 is the last pick of this next round here. It would be a major reach to take Biggers already, but we only have one more pick after this, and it's the 6th round selection. So we're going to take Biggers already and hope that he's actually a low elite. And then our last selection of the draft will be that other guy that's guaranteed to be low elite. And Biggers was a low elite defenseman, so we are grabbing some quite good defenders here in this draft class, which is nice. So there's Ricardo Biggers. And our final pick at 192, we should be able to grab that one low elite that I had pinned. Let's see, double check on that. Yes, we can. So Bryson Waters, welcome aboard. He is a gem as well, which is great. And what overall was he? Probably a similar overall to the other low elite we just drafted before that, right? 51 overall. Gives us more depth at least, so that is great. All right. Yeah, that was a really good draft. If you look at our players that we've drafted, it doesn't actually go to the bottom of this list. Oh, no, it doesn't actually go all the way to our first pick. But you can see our last 5 selections anyways. We have 2 medium elites, 2 low elites, and a medium starter. So, yeah, we're building up still some good prospects, even though we are winning all these Stanley Cups and all that. So, we're drafting well, we're winning well in the regular season and in the playoffs, which is pretty damn awesome. So there's our draft. We grab Harrison, the top 6 forward, who's almost NHL ready out of the draft. We got Kopecky, who's a top 4 defensive prospect. We got McDermott, another top 6 forward prospect. And then we get Gustafsson and Holmquist, the 2 medium elites, Sutter, the medium starter. And then we get 2 low elites in Biggers and Waters. So a fantastic draft, especially coming off a 3rd Stanley Cup in the last 4 years, which is pretty nuts. So pretty nice draft. Let's get to the re-sign stage and see who we got to re-sign. Obviously, we got to bring back this head coach because he is the GOAT for this team. He has won us so many cups, I'm pretty sure. It's him and the other coach, I'm pretty sure, that has. Because if you look at Vivirios' numbers as a head coach, he has 445 career wins, only 170 losses and 41 OT losses in the regular season. He's got a 71 win percentage in the NHL. Before he coached us, though, he coached with the Boston Bruins and was even good, but then he went to like 7 years without a job, which is kind of crazy. And then playoff-wise, you can see he's won 4 Stanley Cups with this team, which is awesome. His playoff record, 86 and 43. So this guy definitely needs to be re-signed. He's 65, though, which means he's getting close to retirement age, which means at some stage we might have to find ourselves a new head coach, which is not great. But 4 Stanley Cups and 6 President's Trophies. We definitely got to bring him back. We got to pay him all the big bucks. And we'll bring back these scouts as well, because these scouts have been doing a really good job in terms of keep on building up this team. Without them, this team would not have won as much Stanley Cups as they have, because they have found me some really good players over the years. And hopefully those guys that we just drafted are also going to be part of the team in the future too, because that would be great. Alright, so that is almost all the scouts offered their contracts to. I don't remember who's a free agent pending this offseason, but we'll definitely check here. So, what do we got to re-sign here? What do we got to re-sign? Unsigned first-wise, I am going to sign Harrison to his ELC because I think he's ready to play in the AHL right away. There is also Timmins, who we drafted last year or 2 years ago. Oh, yeah, I remember this guy. Yeah, last year. He's up to a 73 at 20. He's also going to get his ELC. I don't know if he's AHL eligible yet, though, but he's definitely getting a contract, at least. RFA-wise, we only have 3 RFAs this offseason, and we will probably give them all contracts. So Reason's going to get 2-way. Backer and Goddard, obviously, are the big RFAs. Him and also Bergfist. So 3 big RFAs. UFA-wise, the biggest is Scarlett. That's not too bad. Let's go to the bottom of this list and start releasing some players we don't need. So Volkov, we don't need you. You're low elite Cutler, so you'll get signed just because low elites are awesome. Naslund as a medium 9. I'm going to let you walk. We don't need every single prospect here. Bannister was a 2nd round selection as a medium 6. I mean, I could replace somebody like Bork, who's a little bit older. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Might as well sign Bannister because he's younger. And we'll let go of Bork there too as well. DePenta's going to get his ELC as a low lead as well. King too. Damn, there's a lot of low league talent here in this roster. Tambellini, wasn't he a first rounder? No, he was a third rounder. 70 at 21. Is there any other defenseman I can let go of? Yeah, there's Mikas. Right, that's true. So we are going to get Tambellini his ELC too. Because a lot of these kind of depth options I signed last year just to help us with the cap situation, I'm just letting go of, to be honest. Alright, so we have Rafalski as a depth option. I could hold on to him, but Mashenko's also 4 years younger. Is it the time to let go of Cam and Rafalski? We're going to let go of Zach Dean for sure, though. I do like Jamal Hurd as a depth option better than, like, Mashenko or Rafalski, so... well, not Mashenko or Rafalski, Cam or Rafalski. I am going to let go of Dennis Cam, I think, just for Jamal Hurd. Because Jamal Hurd should be a depth option in the NHL. So we'll sign him up. And Cam, even though you were a first-round talent, we are going to let you go. You actually had a pretty good season with 5 goals in 6 games as the depth option. But to be honest, I just don't really have the space for you at the moment. So I'm going to let you walk. But who knows, maybe we could bring you back at some point. And then there's also Rafalski as a depth option. He's kind of like the exact same type of player in a sense. Yeah, I'm going to let him go, and Mashenko might be depth instead, just because the younger guys deserve an opportunity at some point, right? So those guys get all signed. We'll use Greer still as a depth defender if he wants to come back. That would be great. And then Alexiev is a 4th-line option. I'm going to let him go. I don't think I need him anymore. I did trade for him a couple years ago, but I don't think we need to have him much longer, so best of luck to Alexiev. And then Scarlett. We also do have Plekanec to worry about. I am going to let go of Plekanec already, because I know we have an AHL goalie to take up, so Scarlett, what are you asking for? $3.2 million. It's not too bad. I will get back to you on that. Let me actually advance a day and see if all these guys accept first, because I want to know how much money I have. So there you go. Our head coach is back, which is great. A lot of everybody will be probably happy about that, because that coach is probably one of the best coaches I've ever had. Let's just get through this quickly. There we go. Hey, all the UFAs accepted. That's actually pretty nice and impressive. Yeah, we're going to have to pay some of these UFAs, or RFAs, the big bucks, which is okay. I am going to re-sign Scarlett because of the cap situation. I am going to give him a 1-year deal, but he could get potentially flipped away this season, depending on things, but we'll give him a 1-year deal. He deserves it. He's been here a long time, so... But obviously these two guys are going to be expensive, and Bergfist is going to be expensive. So what are we thinking in terms of per Bergfist here? A 5-year deal is not that bad, to be honest. Obviously we do have other goalies in the system, but 5 years is kind of a nice little trial run for Bergfist, especially after winning a Stanley Cup with us. I think I'm okay with giving him a 5-year deal. Obviously if we need cap space still, we could flip him away, but at the same time, I'm okay with giving him a 5-year deal. Might as well. So what is the 85% of this? Because I will try 85% and try him for less. So I might be able to get him for 7.25 if I'm not mistaken here. Yeah, 7.25. We'll see if we can get him for 5 years on that, because that's a good little price for a goalie. It's not too expensive. And then these two guys, I would like to sign Goddard up long term as well, because he is almost getting close to UFA territory, and I know he's going to get only more expensive as the years go on. 4 years would take him till he's 28. Yeah, I could do it 4 years. I could do 4 years. I don't want to give him too long term, because I think he'll drop off faster than some of the other medium elite guys. But a 4-year deal, taking him till he's 28 is not bad. Obviously, we're risking losing some of these guys to free agency in the next few years, but that's okay. Let's see. So we need to do 7475. Oh my goodness. I can barely even use my mouse to type stuff for some reason. It's just like this calculator app sometimes is a little bit wonky. 7475, and we got to times this by 0.85 as well. And we're looking at maybe getting him for like 375. Yeah, something like that should work. That's a decent deal for a top 4, in my opinion. And what about Backer? 4-year deal as well from him. Takes him till he's 26. Maybe a little bit. That jumps up a little bit. 5-year deal for him should be okay. I just don't want to give him 4 years because then he's only 26, which is kind of young still for a free agent. 27 and 28 on the other hand is okay, so we shouldn't be overpaying him too much on here as well. It's good to lock up the core, you know, as much as possible, but at some point we should be able to trade some of these guys easily because it's not like they're getting overpaid that much. We might be able to get him for roughly, if I'm not mistaken, around this 4.45, which once again for a top 4 defenseman in this day and age is not that bad. And then we got Scarlett signed as well. Okay, let's see if all these guys accept, because that'd be great. It looks like Scarlett accepted based on the notification thing. Scarlett is back. Goddard rejects, Backer rejects, and Bergqvist rejects. Wow. All the RFAs decide, hey, that's not enough money. So let's try this again. 4-year deal. Let's go down on to this to 6.75 for Goddard. That's still a decent thing for a top 4 defenseman. For Backer, we're going to go to 5 years, and I'm going to try and get him for 4.750 because that's still decent. And for Bergqvist, I'm going to still do the 5-year deal, and I'm going to try and get him for 7.75 and see if that works. See if those guys accept. Looks like Bergqvist accepted, which is great. And Backer too, and Goddard rejected. Okay. We'll try and get Goddard here, but we are going to be a little bit tight against the cap space, which is good, so we aren't going to have to sign any cap whales, I don't think, this offseason, so that's a really good thing. But yeah, hopefully we could get... Let's try 6.9 for Goddard for the memes. 6.9, booyaka. And he rejects it as well. Okay, Goddard. I think he thinks he could get 7 million, which is expensive, but I know he's going to be a penny free agent soon, so I think 4 years at 7 on the dot might be able to get this done. Stop simulation. Let's see. He rejected it again. Come on, Goddard. This is the last day I could sign him, so I'm going to have to qualify him first. And then I'm going to have to give him a contract in the offseason. We're going to have to negotiate a little bit more with him. I don't know why he's trying to get more than 7 million. Alright, so everybody else at least is signed, which is good. We have still 20 million in cap space. Once we sign Goddard, we're down to 13. But we have technically a full roster, I think. Because if you think of what our roster is going to look like next season, it's going to be Bergqvist and Mills in between the pipes. Defensively, Vandermeer, Goddard, Backer, Louis Varas, Vernarski, Scarlett, Greer/Reese as a depth defenseman. We already have enough defenders. Easy as that. Right wing wise, we got Wilson, Irving, Jacquezie, Bulbrook. So that's 4. 5 with Groshek, Eberle. That's 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We don't honestly need to sign anything, but we'll obviously still look at free agents available just in case. Because if we look at guys that are expiring next offseason, if we go to just like the forwards, I'm curious on this. We're going to have to pay some pretty big money in next offseason to, who is it? Or maybe not. Oh, wait, no, actually, yeah, here we go. Goldman's going to be an RFA again. So that's going to be expensive. Ekholm's going to be an RFA. That's going to be expensive. Scrimes doesn't matter. Bulbrook's going to be expensive. Hansen might be a decent expensive, maybe cheap. Yeah, there's some big RFAs next offseason to deal with. So there is that. I think we're ready to... Let's see. Since he's qualified, I could still offer him a contract while he's qualified at least, so that's good. Let's try and get Goddard still. 4-year deal. As well, we were going before, and we said 7 million and didn't accept it. What about 7.1? I'm trying to get him for as little as possible in a sense. And yeah, we'll advance here to the first day of free agency. And he still rejected 7.1, which is kind of crazy, but at least he's qualified, so we should be able to get him back easily in next episode, but he's not budging much on his asking price, which is kind of weird. Because most of them budge a little bit, but he's not. Alright, so let's take a look at what's available trade block-wise, free agency-wise. And I think that'll probably be it for this episode at this point. Let me take a look at our roster again here on paper for a second. I'm curious on the overall ratings here. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then it would be Lannon still as depth as the 13th. And you'd also have Mishenko or something as a 14th. You also have Blunden who could jump to the NHL. So I think we're good on forwards. Just a hunch. Defensively, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then obviously Greer, Reese would be depth, and Goddard would be in the NHL once he's signed up. So that's probably good too. And then goalies is good. I don't think we honestly need to sign anything next episode, but if anything is available that you guys think I should bring in, let me know. And we might be able to do some adjustments to our roster, even though we don't really need to. And we'll also look at the trading block in case. But here's the available goalies in free agency. We don't really need one because obviously Mills should jump to the NHL next year. That's why I'd let go of Plekanec. So goalies are probably something that doesn't really need to happen to this roster. From a defensive standpoint, we could always upgrade our defensive core, but we'd have to trade away somebody. I think like Scarlett, Louis Vara, Vernarski. But I don't think I want to change up that defense too much, because it's been damn good so far these last number of years. There is some good defenders available, like Pierre Rala as an offensive defenseman, but he's trying to get $15 million, which is absolutely insane. So I'm glad I have Vandermeer locked up like I do right now, because obviously he's going to cost us a lot once he becomes a free agent. But yeah, there's not really anything I would probably bring into this defensive core, but if you guys see anybody, let me know. From an offensive standpoint, we got Jack Quinn as a right winger. We don't really need any forwards whatsoever, to be honest. Yeah, we're not going to bring in probably any forwards. But I'll still look at them anyways, but it's no point bringing in a forward when our forward core has been as good as it has been. It's like our top 6 is untouchable. Our third line's pretty much untouchable too. It's going to be really hard to get everybody as much ice time as possible, so we might have to make some adjustments in terms of deals and stuff in next episode too. Because we should look at everybody's role on this roster too, just to see. But there's some pretty good free agents available, but nothing I would bring in really, especially with the amount of cups we've won recently. So there is that. Let's take a look at the trading block just to see if there's anything that would scream interesting in terms of trades for us. I know that LA did re-sign Michael Misa on an extension, I'm pretty sure already, so that's going to be insane to see him in LA for the rest of his career. But Anaheim has a couple goalies on the block. Anything else? Let's see. Saugus. Looks like mostly prospects so far on the block. There's Yakupov. 8.58 million. Damn, that's a lot of money. Nothing Chicago. Nothing Colorado. Yeah, this offseason doesn't have a lot on the trading block, which is okay. There's Sebastian Casa, but I don't need him. Especially when we just signed Bergqvist on a 5-year extension. Nashville has Zacharias, another goalie on the block, and Savoy. The Islanders, nothing. Rangers have Gostad. Ottawa has Luno on the block. Philadelphia has a couple guys. Pominville's a 26-year-old. That's interesting. Blum is a medium elite 24-year-old defenseman. That's an RFA right now. DFD. See, now that would be something to trade for. He would be almost similar to Palin was, in a sense. Obviously a lot younger. But this guy's a medium elite, 85 at 24. He's only played 82 career games because they played him in the AHL for a number of years, it looks like. But he's a solid shutdown defender. He obviously got far in the playoffs this year. But he is an RFA, so they must be in a cap situation right now. Lovejoy's also an RFA, apparently is a low bottom 6. But what would I give up to get Blum? I do have the assets definitely to get him if I wanted to. He's a left defender, which means I don't know who I would have to flip in the top 4 to get rid of him. Like, I'd probably have to get rid of Louis Vara or Vernarski or somebody like that if we really wanted to bolster our defense more so, but it's not necessary. But imagine him next to Goddard or something like that. That would be pretty nice. But I don't think it's something that needs to happen. It's just more if we want to actually change this team up a bit, but I honestly don't know if I want to with all the cup wins. Because obviously it's hard to change your roster after you win so many cups. Axel Sandine Pelika, The only really interesting really is that Flyers guy that's an RFA. I could also qualify him, but I think that would be more expensive. Speaking of Dennis Palin, he's actually on the block in Vegas now. He's making $13 million for the next 5 years. But that's what I mean, is the other guy could be like a younger Dennis Palin. Palin only played 1 year in Vegas and did not make the playoffs with them. But he's been put on the block again. He always seems to be on the trading block, because when we brought him in, he was on the trading block in Vancouver, I think, or Toronto. So there's that. I do want to go to... Where was the place I could take a look at player roles? I think it was progress reports here, right? Yes, okay. This is good. This is exactly what I was looking for. So if we go to forwards, we currently have 4 first-line forwards, which is Irving, Groshek, Wilson, and Ekholm. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 second-line forwards. So that means 9 people are basically top 6 forwards, which means 3 guys are going to be on the third line that are actually supposed to be in a top 6 role. We have 1 guy listed as a third line scoring forward that needs more ice time next season, and that's Bulbrook. Because Bulbrook obviously should be probably on a third line. But who does that mean that needs to go? Does that mean Eberle's time is done? That's an interesting dilemma. Bulbrook in, Eberle out. And then we have obviously some forwards and depth guys. From a defensive standpoint, we have a top 2 in Vandermeer. Louis Vara and Vernarski and Back are all top 4s. However, Goddard's also going to be a top 4. So, I don't know how we get Louis Vara more ice time. I know he's a pending UFA soon too. So, if we wanted to bring in that DFD and replace Louis Vara, but then again, that would give us 5 top 4 defenders. Scarlett's the only guy that's actually listed as a top 6. And then we got our 2 depth defenders. And we got our starter and our backup. Yeah, I don't really know exactly what we want to do in terms of adjustments. Because obviously we have a lot of guys that are not going to be in their actual roles, so they might complain about ice time. My guess would be probably moving out Eberle would be a thing that we could do, and move Bulbrook into the top 9. But obviously we could just trade Bulbrook if we really want to hold on to Eberle. But Eberle is making money for the next number of years, I think. But he has been a really good playoff player. Like, I think he's actually even better in the playoffs than regular season. 192 regular season points through 343 games, 65 points in 90 playoff games. And his shooting percentage goes from a 9.9 to a 12.6. So he definitely is better in the playoffs. Yeah, that's a tough decision. That is a tough decision for sure. I think that's all I wanted to take a look at almost, right? Yeah, I think so. Let me actually go to proposed trade for a second. I also want to take a look at how much medium elites and stuff we have on this roster, because I feel like we have a ton. Like, if we go just forward-wise, look at all these medium elites. We have 3 medium elites, all these low elites, 1 exact elite. We have all these top 6 forwards. We have some low top 6s. We have barely any bottom 6 forward prospects on this roster. That's insane. From a defensive standpoint, we have 3 medium elites, 3 low elites, a couple top 4s, a couple top 6s, and some 7th. We don't have anybody that has like AHL potential almost. And then all these elite goalies and couple starters. Insane. Absolutely insane. Like, there shouldn't be anybody with super low trade value on this roster, right? There's, I guess, a couple unsigned guys like some of the 7th, which makes sense. But most of these guys have good value. Because if you even go up to somebody like, yeah, all these like low elites have like a little chunk of value. We might be able to pull off a trade for that guy in Philadelphia. Let's go to the trade finder and just take a look quickly. Might as well, while we're at it, and just see what it would cost us if we wanted to bring in that defender from Philly. Obviously, we'd have to pay him too. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. Let's see. Walter, Bulbrook, and Backer, no thank you. Bulbrook, Hansen, and Backer, no thank you. Yeah, I don't think I would do that at all. I would probably just give them a pick, but obviously I don't think they want picks because obviously they were really solid last year. But I don't think they could afford him, and that's the main reason why he's on the block, I'm guessing. Let's take a look. No, they have the cap space, so they might actually be able to re-sign him. But they have to re-sign just him as an RFA. Yeah, they definitely should be able to sign him. We don't need to necessarily trade him for him at all, but we can if we really want to. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode. So in next episode, we'll take it to free agency. We'll see if we make any adjustments to this team in terms of trades or signings. I don't think we really need to. I think we just want to keep rocking this roster until like the wheels start to fall off, so to speak. So let me know down below, and I'll see you guys next time.